Erica Rory, 19-12, charged with possession of controlled substances and paraphernalia. Erica Rory, and several other charges also. Good morning. Do you have a lawyer? Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I do not have a lawyer.
Okay, are you going to hire a lawyer or make application to the public defender's office?
I can make an application.
Okay. Your case is before Judge Gordon Webb. He'll be here on January 17th at, let's say, 9:30. So fill out your application, turn it in, appear before Judge Webb on January 17th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you. State versus Jeremy Thorgensen, 19-14. He also has 18-493. The newer case is possession of controlled substances, 3 counts.
Judge, I believe the court had appointed the public defender's office to represent Mr. Thorgensen during last week's proceeding.
Okay.
And then today, I want to be sure as to what his bond is set at, Judge. What does the file reflect?
Judge, the state recommended a $5,000 cash bond based on this gentleman was arrested in case number 18493. Looks like he somewhere around November 15th. He made a $5,000 bond, and then while out on bond, it looks like he on January 1st he allegedly violated that bond. So we've recommended a $5,000 cash bond.
Suppose it's $5,000 cash.
Very well, Judge.
Anything else?
No, the court will issue a scheduling order.
Let me look at 18-493 and see where we're at on that.
Correct, Judge, and I suppose the new case is 1914, and we would, if that's for arraignment,
It is for arraignment, Your Honor.
then we'd waive
Well, both of them, both of them for arraignment. We'll enter pleas of not guilty. In 18-493, Mr. Paysons will be appointed.
Your Honor, if I may ask, and subject to Judge Webb's approval, he also has a revocation, which is CR 14-280. If the court would transfer 18-493 to Judge Webb's docket, that way all 3 cases will track.
That's fine with me. You may stand aside, sir. Mark Jeffrey, 19-8, forgery, theft of property. Sir, I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. You appear for an arraignment. How does he plead?
We'd waive a formal reading of the charges and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right. I don't see a scheduling order, so I'll have him appear before Judge Webb on January 17th at 9:30. David Simmons, 19-3, possession of controlled substances, paraphernalia. Okay. He's here for attorney status and arraignment.
Your Honor, he has made application to the public defender's office. We'd waive a formal reading of the charges, enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay.
Judge, he also has a companion case, which is CR 18-528 on Judge Webb's docket. We would move that 19-3 be transferred to Judge Webb's docket pending his approval.
You'll take it.
Very well.
Can I get a bond reduction?
Well, you gonna have a hearing on it? We'll bring him over and have a hearing on it.
On his bond, we can
If you want.
Yes.
we can certainly do so, Judge.
All right, we'll transport you to the courthouse, sir. Well, I tell you what, since we transferred to
Wes,
Judge Webb's case,
Have him reappear on the 17th.
that'd be fine. I'll set the bond hearing for the 17th. Jason Hicks, 19-1, theft of property, breaking and entering, several counts of breaking and entering, criminal mischief. You're appearing for arraignment and attorney status. Who represents you, sir?
I don't know. I filled out an application for the public defender's office,
Okay. When did you fill it out?
probably about a week ago.
Okay. Did you have that?
We do not, Your Honor.
They say they don't have it.
I put it in the door at APOD.
have you come back on February 14th for arraignment and attorney status.
Okay, can I ask for a bond reduction?
Let me see what your bond's set at.
Judge, it said $5,000, Brad.
Tell you what, I'll just set that for hearing on February 14th. Tell them to make
Alright.
sure they get your application to the public defender's office.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Nathaniel Campbell, 18523. Possession of drug paraphernalia, controlled substances, drugs and firearms, violence with certain persons. Who's your lawyer, sir?
I have not got one yet.
Okay. Are you gonna hire a lawyer?
Right now, I've been under a 90-day PV.
Say that again,
So
sir?
I'll be unable to hire a lawyer. I'm doing a 90-day sanction for parole. I am unable to hire a lawyer at this time.
Well, we've entered a plea of not guilty. I'd suggest you get a lawyer. I'll schedule you to come back on February 14th for attorney status. Let me stand aside. Danny Messick, 16331, it's a revocation.
If I may approach, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm not sure you qualify for the public defender. You don't have any expenses. How do you live so inexpensively?
I just got a home, sir. I've been homeless for a couple years and just did get in the house Christmas Eve.
Have you tried to hire a lawyer?
No, sir. I had my Social Security disability shut off when I was in jail here. And it's taken me a year to get it turned back on. And I should have a check out there. I'm just not sure yet. It's
I'll have
been a heck of a struggle.
Petey's office ought preliminarily approve the applications. You can have him sign. I've already approved some, it looks like.
Your Honor, we'd enter a plea of not true on the revocation.
Right. Okay, well, I'll enter the plea of not true, set a hearing down for February 14th, 10 o'clock or soon thereafter as we can get to it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Jonathan Wolf, 16-200. Also a contempt of court, I guess.
Yes, Your Honor, I don't understand what that's over. I went to prison over that charge.
Okay.
I left,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I went to prison over that charge. It's been a couple years back, but I don't know if I had owed the court some money or something of that nature. I would have paid that up, but I thought it all got transferred to me when I went to Pulaski County.
Well, let's see.
I've been to prison.
It's alleged.
Oh, yeah.
It's alleged that you haven't paid fines and costs and fees. That's the allegation.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, Judge,
Well, see-
your case before Judge Webb, he'll be here on the 17th at 9:30. I'm gonna order you appear before him on that date. We'll enter.
Your Honor.
We'll enter a
I'm
plea of
sorry.
not true to the allegations. You
Is-
probably
is
need
there
to
any-
make application to a public defender if you can't hire a lawyer.
Your Honor,
Uh-huh.
is there any way that I can get that cash bond into a bail bondsman so I could maybe get out today? I have a job.
How much does he owe?
$2,300.
Well, if you can make some sort of a cash bond, we might be able to go along with that, so.
How much, What's the
Well-
least amount you could do, Your Honor?
What's the least amount you could pay? Or the most amount, I should
But
say.
the
That's
most I
better.
could pay, I mean, I could probably come up with a couple of $100.
Well, I'll let the prosecution and public defender think about it, and if they agree to that, run it by Judge Webb, that's fine with me. Maybe they can work on it for you. You need to make application to public defender, sir, if you haven't already. Okay, thank you.
When will I know if that's okay or not? If the bond,
If they decide on it, exact time I can't tell you.
okay.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. 16-39, Stephen Miller. Morning.
Morning.
Do you have a lawyer, sir?
No, I don't.
Well, you're gonna hire a lawyer, make application to public defender?
Yeah, I'll get a public defender.
Okay, fill out your application, turn it in as soon as possible. I'm gonna have you appear before Judge Webb on January 17th at 9:30.
Can I ask for a bond reduction?
What is your bond now?
Like 16,000 cash?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that right now, sir.
I'm gonna lose my job if I don't.
Right.
I won't be able to pay anything. I'm gonna lose my house, I'm gonna
How
lose
far behind
everything.
is he?
Your Honor, I have on 2016 39 and 2016 40, this stems from a theft case back in 2016. I think his total fines cost, there was restitution of $4,600. I think he had a cash bond of $8,075. However, he is actually only delinquent $2,800. If he'd been paying us, he'd been paying for 28 months. So I would agree to a cash bond of $2,800. It doesn't have to be 8,000. It's recommended here an 8,075. That would be him paying us in full. I just want him to pay us what he was supposed to pay us, which would be $2,800 cash.
Let's set it at $2,800 cash.
Can you make that pro, please?
No, sir, you've had more charges than I've ever seen since I've had a law degree. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay, you can stand aside. Arthur Tunnicliff, 15-245, 13-144, 12-297, 10-229.
Your Honor, the recommended sentence is this gentleman's going to serve 2 weeks in jail, 14 days in jail, and we're going to review this in 90 days.
Very well. He's sentenced to 14 days in jail. Ma'am, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of suspension of probation. Have you gone over these?
Yes.
Yes,
Do you feel you understand what's in these documents?
yes.
Do you understand the
Suspension.
charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to defrauding a secured creditor?
Yes, sir.
When you plead guilty, you don't get to have a trial nor an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering the plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone pressured or threatened you to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what's in these documents to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
And you're pleading guilty because you're guilty, is that right?
I'm guilty.
What happened?
Your Honor, Ms. Tate would have purchased a vehicle for $3,200 from Eddings Auto Sales at some point after she would have still owed about $1,765 on that car. And while Eddings Auto Sale would have still had a secured, perfected security lien on that property, she would have sold that vehicle to a salvage yard at WW Recycling near Rector, Arkansas, and she would have signed an affidavit that stated that she owned that vehicle and there were no liens on it, which would have been false. They crushed that car. She got $184 for that vehicle.
Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
This time, ma'am, I accept your plea, judge you guilty, and sentence you to 6 years in the Department of Corrections to be suspended on conditions of probation. You'll serve 120 days in the county jail. You'll pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, $20 booking fee, $200 in public defender fees. okay, something's marked out, is $2,002.45 the restitution?
Correct.
Pay what you owe at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release. You make your payments to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County.
Okay.
It says Mr. Fiddler's for an 8.1. Do we have any information on
Oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry,
Fiddler?
I do have Mr. Fiddler's.
Mr. Fiddler, I'm looking at a, has this been filed, but it just hasn't been set up? We don't, it has been set up.
No, it has not been
Has
set
been
up.
not- Okay. Have you appeared before a judge on these charges yet, Mr. Fiddler?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm looking at an affidavit here where probable cause was found for your arrest for domestic battery in the second degree. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say might be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. Can't afford an attorney, make application to the public defender's office. If you qualify, we'll appoint an attorney to represent you. And while you're in jail, you have a right to communicate with your family, friends, and your attorney, subject to the regulations of the Sheriff's Department. I'll set you to appear on January 17th at 9:30 a.m. in Baxter County Circuit Court. And your bond has been set at $10,000. No contact with the victim is a requirement of the bond.
Can I get a bond reduction?
I'll just leave it at that right now. I've reviewed the affidavit and that's a fair bond.
All right.
You can stand aside. Chadwick Wallace, 19-10.
Pardon my
Drugs and
tardiness, Your Honor.
Fine.
Drugs and firearms, firearms for certain persons, drugs, yes.
He's made out.
I've presented an application to the Public Defender's Department, Your Honor.
Okay,
But I believe they've received it. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I do not know.
I'm looking at it right now, sir.
Thank you very much. I have not yet had an opportunity to consult with my attorney yet, Your Honor. Under that basis, I'd really like to plead not guilty on all charges, so I was able to consult my attorney.
Okay, we'll enter a plea of not guilty.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Will that be all?
Well, let me look at something right quick.
Yes, sir.
I'll have you appear, well, let me look and see if there's been a scheduling order filed. I'll have, I'll have you appear before Judge Webb on January 17th at 9:30 a.m. It's a week from today.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I do appreciate you.
Thank you. That's 18,471. Snyder, I'm looking at police statement and some conditions of suspension or probation. Have you gone over these documents?
Yes, sir.
And you've signed them, it looks like.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel you understand what's set out in the documents?
Yes, sir.
You understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to 2 counts of theft of property, which are felonies, and a misdemeanor theft of property?
Yes, sir.
When you plead guilty, you don't get to have a trial, nor do you get an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Have you been promised anything other than what's in these documents? Has anyone
No.
promised you anything other than what's in the documents?
Sorry.
Has anyone threatened you or pressured you to get you to
No,
change
sir.
your plea? Are you guilty of these crimes?
Yes, I'm very guilty.
Okay.
Your Honor, on around August 23rd, Ms. Snyder would have, I guess, gotten permission from a family friend to go to their house and wash her clothes. She went there on that day, and while there, she did go into the house. She would have stolen 2 firearms, a metal detector, and a laundry basket, and then left with those items without the permission of the owner.
Did you do that?
Yes, he has.
Yes.
This time, Emma, I accept your plea, adjudge you guilty on each felony count of theft of property. You're sentenced to 6 years in Department of Corrections be suspended on conditions of probation. For the misdemeanor theft of property, you're sentenced to 75 days in the county jail with credit for 71 days served. You'll pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, a $20 booking fee, $200 in public defender fees, $305 in restitution. And pay what you owe at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release. Payments are made to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County. Yes, 18209, Mark W. Dorman.
Judge, if we can continue this case on our nickel to February 14th, we'll either have a suppression hearing or a resolution.
Is that agreeable?
Yes.
Be continued on defense motion. Kevin Grunwald, 18511, theft of property, breaking or entering.
Judge, Mr. Grunwald made application to the Public Defender's Office. Court has already issued a scheduling order, and
Okay, we'll leave it as scheduled, thank you. 18-36, 18-39, hot check cases, I think.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. He's on a current scheduling order, jury trial, January 22nd. If we could just stay on that.
Very well.
Thank you, Your Honor. If we could be excused.
Yes. 18309, Courtney Burleson. It's a theft by receiving is the charge.
We have a police statement, also conditions of probation. I think the case number is actually wrong on that probation
On this?
case. No, yours is fine. It's this one that needs to be changed to 309. It does. We wrote it
Do
here.
we need to change, she says we need to change the case number.
Yeah, it says 308, it needs to be 309. I can do it.
No, this says 309. This is 309.
Ms. Burleson, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of probation. Have you gone over these, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel you understand what's in these documents?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the charges against you and the range of punishment if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to theft by receiving?
Yes, sir.
As you've heard me tell others, when you plead guilty, you give up your right to have a trial, and you also cannot appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Have you been promised anything in order to get you to change your plea other than what's in these documents?
No, sir.
Has Ms. Reed or anyone else threatened or pressured you to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Are you guilty of these crimes, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happened here?
Your Honor, on July 17th of the last year, Ms. Burleson would have been stopped by the city police of Mountain Home and found to be in possession of a firearm, a Ruger LCP pistol that had been stolen out of the town of Ravenden, Arkansas.
Okay,
It was
so
in her purse.
you had this pistol
Yes,
in
sir.
your possession and you knew or should have known it was stolen? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. This time, ma'am, I accept your plea. I'm going to place you on, or I'll sentence you to 3 years in Department of Corrections to be suspended on conditions of probation. This will be under Act 346. You'll pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, $20 booking fee, $200 in public defender fees, and pay what you owe, ma'am, at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 30 days, and you make your payment to the Sheriff's Department.
Judge, I don't think she should have a public defender's fee assessed.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. You're correct, we'll take that off. But anyway, make your payments to the Sheriff's Department, and let's see if I can get that out of this. Taking that out of the terms, conditions, and initialed it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't know if there's a total in here, but if there is, it would need to be adjusted. At any rate. before you leave, you'll need to see one of the probation officers, okay?
Thank you, Judge.